Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and I thought we could talk a little bit about Young Justice and DC Fandom. Well, yesterday we got a little bit of news that was not so great for us Young Justice fans. As you know, the show has not been renewed for a Season 5, but to be fair, it hasn't been cancelled either, it's just between orders. And many of us, myself included, were pretty optimistic that DC Fandom would be the place where we would finally get some news. Now, in case you didn't hear, DC and Warner Bros. Discovery is not putting on DC Fandom this year. As a matter of fact, they've made it pretty clear they want in-person type conventions and prefer that method over the virtual convention we got at Fandom. Now, for me, this makes mixed sense because this year's SDCC didn't even see DC set up a booth, and they're not confirmed for New York Comic Con. So this leaves a lot of questions about what the heck is going on. I have to say, DC Fandom not happening is a huge bummer. Being a Young Justice fan, the last 2 years have been really great. The first DC Fandom saw a great script read with Greg leading the cast along the way, and last year we actually got 2 episodes dropped on us by surprise. The virtual event was a big hit for Young Justice fans, and I have to say it felt like our event, and it being cancelled adds a little bit of salt to the wound. Now, as many of you know, DC and Warner Bros. Discovery have been cutting lots of stuff, and I think that's where we need to look to understand why and what is happening. They have actually greenlit very few new projects. As a matter of fact, in the DC realm, the only 2 that I can find are the Joker sequel and Harley Quinn Season 4. So I don't think us Young Justice fans should give up hope yet. Many people don't really seem to understand that there was only a Season 4 ordered. When a show gets cancelled, there's typically multiple seasons ordered, and somewhere along that contractual path, the corporation who owns the contract chooses to exercise a right and terminate the process. That's not what happened here. The show actually completed its full run for the order, had great ratings, and now basically we're waiting for Warner Bros. Discovery to decide what to do. There are a couple of paths they could go down here, but it's very unrealistic to think a show that is as successful as Young Justice, and let's be clear, the show has been really successful, won't find life somewhere, if not on HBO Max, on another streaming service. The one little tidbit of good news we got was that Batman Caped Crusader is being shopped around. This means in the minds of Warner Bros. Executives, there is a possibility of generating content that doesn't go to their streaming service, but they look to make money by selling it to another one. Young Justice Phantoms had a production budget of about $12 million. That's pretty low when you look at the cost of many other shows. Now, animation isn't cheap, but the return on that has been really high, with the show trending constantly and being one of their top-rated shows. So there really is no reason why a service like Hulu, Netflix, or Apple TV might not also be interested in Young Justice. Now, Greg Weisman and the rest of the cast and crew remain pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing. I actually think they're pretty much looking not to step on landmines in the process and are holding their breath, just like the rest of us, hopeful that this show returns sometime soon. I think many of us need to keep up the fan campaign. Greg has made it pretty clear buying the comics absolutely helps, and maintaining a positive social media presence can only help reaffirm how important the show is to fans and give them a reason to give it back. Remember, recently we found out some Warner Bros. Executives haven't been too happy with how some fan movements behave, and we have to make sure we're not those people. To each their own, and love what you want to love, but I think in order for us to get Young Justice back, there's a particular path we need to take, and quite honestly, being sort of obnoxious is not the way to go. Now, we're going to keep covering Young Justice news on this channel, so if you're a Young Justice fan, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so we can get you all the updates. But until we know more, what do you guys think? Do you think the fact that Warner Bros. Discovery is willing to use other streaming services is a positive for the future of Young Justice? And how shocked were you that DC Fandom didn't make it this year? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.